days around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we'll be reviewing Tottenham Hotspur's 3-1 win over Bournemouth as they close out 2023 with a huge win, with Son, Sarr, and Richarlison getting the goals for the Lily Whites as they move just 1 point behind the top 4 and 3 points off the top of the table. It was certainly an interesting performance to say the least. We started very brightly. I think we started really brightly.
Yeah, it was a very good performance. Sarr getting off the mark very early with a very well taken goal. It was a mistake from Bournemouth's keeper, but at the edge of the box, he just passed it into the corner.
Yeah.
It was a great finish from Sarr.
Sarr did really well, but unfortunately, he did leave the pitch in the 32nd minute due to an injury. He looked to be walking fine, so I have a feeling that it was more of a preventative thing, seeing as he has been called up for Senegal to go to the AFCON tournament, which will be taking place in January. I'm sure he was a little bit protective of it, but he was looking very sad, so I have a feeling it might be one that could keep him out for a couple of weeks. Hopefully it doesn't hinder his performance at AFCON, although from a Spurs perspective, if he doesn't play his AFCON, that's the more weeks we have him available for us and the more rest he gets. So there's two sides to that argument, but after that Sarr goal, it just felt like Bournemouth were the big team because we did not do we were just like giving the ball away.
Yeah, we just kept giving the ball away, taking too many long balls, I think.
Yeah.
From Vicario, from goal kicks, too many long balls. We weren't playing out of the back enough, which I know sometimes can be risky without with Royale, especially at center back.
Yeah.
You don't have Romero or Van de Ven and their confidence on the ball, like you don't have them. But playing out of the back, I think they could still do it. Emerson has the skills of a fullback.
Yeah.
Davies is a veteran.
Yeah.
And we just kept giving the ball away. We allowed Bournemouth to control the match. That's why we didn't get that second goal we would have gotten that second goal much earlier if we played out of the back.
I think that was the difference in the second half, is that we started playing out of the back and we started stringing passes together, and I think a large part of that was down to Giovanni Lo Celso. He got a really good assist through a tackle for Sarr's goal, but was largely quiet for the first half. Second half, he completely lit up. Really, really good performance from Lo Celso. And it culminates in a beautiful, beautiful assist for Heung-min Son's goal in the 71st minute. Unbelievable. First time outside of the left boot, ball over the top, perfectly timed for Son's run, and Son just ran onto it and fired it past Neto into the back of the net. So beautiful, beautiful assist, but I think Lo Celso made all the difference.
Yeah, I think it was his best performance of the season so far.
Yep.
And I think this game and Brighton, I lost against Brighton, these two games collectively, I think they teach us the lesson that we cannot go with the midfield, a midfield 3 flat across. We cannot do that. We need some sort of creativity. Sometimes Kulusevski will work, but that's not always.
Yeah.
Kulusevski will not always work in that cam role. That's why we always need a number 10, Madison or Lo Celso. We cannot go without that.
And I feel like, especially against the deeper sitting teams, I think Lo Celso is going to shine here. Kulusevski's good, but I feel like he's going to be more useful in the big games. But even then, Lo Celso's going to be good in the big games.
Yeah, sometimes I think Kulusevski's a little bit predictable.
Yeah. Which we saw in the last game.
Yeah.
Very predictable. So Lo Celso and Madison have that little bit of what are they going to do next? We have no idea. And now that Lo Celso is like a player who wants to play for Tottenham, who wants to wear our shirt, it's a completely different story with him. Because he was our best player today. He scored a brilliant goal against Aston Villa. He was integral to our draw against Man City. So this is not just on accidents. It's not a coincidence. He's clearly getting better. And I think this redemption arc from him is probably one of the best ones we've ever seen at Spurs. He went from a player who no one wanted, he was getting loaned out every single season, to being, a backup to Madison here. Basically, not even a backup. I think they're just going to rotate.
Yeah.
Because Lo Celso is...
With Lo Celso, we don't have to tire Madison out every single game in and game out. We have options now, which is a good sign.
And one of Madison's big flaws is that he's injury prone. So having Lo Celso to balance that out, they're both injury prone, but balancing each other out will work for us really well. And then we did score our third in the 80th minute, and finally, Richarlison, after so many chances tonight, finally got his goal. Brennan Johnson ran onto a beautiful ball from Emerson Royale over the top, runs onto it, and a square ball into the middle, and Richarlison just has to tap it past the goalkeeper, almost identical to his goal against Everton. But he took it really well, and that's 5 games and 5 goals in 5 home PL games.
Very good. Very
record.
good from Richarlison.
Yeah.
Just like Lo Celso, this is going to be another very good Tottenham redemption. It kind of just took him a season to really settle in.
But I think it was more than just him. It was Conte. Conte wasn't giving him the chances.
Conte was not giving him chances. And he wasn't going to get playing time with Kane.
Yeah.
Other than sub impact, maybe FA Cup, which he didn't even get.
Yeah.
Because we were struggling in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
We're struggling to win against who did we get knocked out to? Was it Sheffield United or was that the year before?
Yeah, that was Sheffield United last year. That was Sheffield United.
Yep.
But finally he's gonna find his feet, and just to make matters a little bit worse, we ended off the game not only with a goal from Alex Scott for Bournemouth, who is a Tottenham born and bred fan, we were actually in to get over the summer, but Alejo Veliz, after coming on as a substitute, ran up for about 5 minutes with full tears in his eyes, fully flowing, before Ange and Lo Celso basically scolded him to tell him to get down on the ground with an injury. He was writhing in pain. They did bring out the stretcher, but he ended up not needing it, and he was able to walk off the pitch. Tottenham ended off the game with only 10 men on the pitch because we were out of substitutes, but that's a big blow to Alejo Veliz, who got his first goal for Spurs just last week against Brighton. And it's going to be a very interesting January because we are losing Bissouma, we're losing Sarr, and we're losing Son.
Some crucial players. I don't know if Bissouma, that red card I don't think it was intentional.
No,
it definitely
but honestly,
was not,
I don't think we're going to miss Bissouma a huge amount because we've got Bentancur back.
And we've got Lo Celso. Bissouma in 3 across, 3 midfielders flat, no attacking.
Yeah.
That could sometimes work. But we don't have Bissouma. If it's Højbjerg, Skip, Sarr, that's never going to work.
Never going to work because they're all defensive, yeah. Sarr brings down the work rate, so we're going to miss Sarr. I think we're going to miss Sarr, but having Bentancur back with Lo Celso, and then having Maddison coming back sometime this January, having Van de Ven come back potentially as early as next week or the week after.
I think Bentancur Skip will be a great midfield.
Bentancur Skip will be a good midfield, but honestly, for the games against maybe Burnley, I wouldn't mind to see Bentancur, Lo Celso, and then Maddison if he's back. I think that would work because Lo Celso often plays as a deep lying 6. So I would not mind seeing, those 3 players in our midfield. I think it would work.
Lo Celso can be more creative then, and even Maddison can get up more and be more of a threat to score.
Yeah.
Maybe even play wide.
But we're going to need a huge performances from Johnson and from Richarlison because they are going to be our real 3 attacking threats. Kulusevski is, of course, going to be back. It's going to be those 4, Lo Celso, Johnson, Richarlison, and Kulusevski. They are going to have to bring the goals for the next couple of weeks. One of the games that we play without Son is going to be against Manchester United. So, as much as they are struggling, it's still going to be a tough game. So I think Richarlison, Johnson, if they're flowing with confidence, which clearly they are right now. Johnson got that assist today. Richarlison with a bunch of goals under his belt in the last couple of weeks. Lo Celso with 2 assists and a man of a match performance today. I think they are. I think we're in good hands. But it's certainly going to be an interesting thing to see how we deal with the lack of Son, because no matter how bad he plays, he is our best player. You can't say he's not our best player.
He brings so much confidence to the team.
He's just the best player of the team, so there's nothing that goes against that.
He's their captain as well.
It's going to be interesting.
The captain, who's the armband going to be passed to?
Romero suspended, or injured, sorry.
Romero, Maddison both injured. Madison could be back, though. And Son will be off.
Son is off, yep.
Play for South Korea.
I have a feeling the armband will either be passed to, I think we might see Davies get it, or Vicario, honestly. But I think that's going to be a discussion that Son will have. Son will get to give the armband to someone, probably. Obviously in coordination with Postecoglou, but I have a feeling it'll be Davies or Vicario. That's my guess.
Yeah, Davies seems very likely since he's been at the club for such a long time.
Actually, he's our longest serving player, I believe. I believe he was be here before Son. I'm not entirely sure about that.
I mean, it's probably Dyer, but out of the starting 11, Davies.
But out of the starting 11, Davies is our longest lasting player after Hugo Lloris confirmed a transfer to Los Angeles, marking an end to his 11-year reign at Tottenham. One of the best goalkeepers we've ever seen in the Premier League. He's our record Premier League appearance holder. He's our record Premier League clean sheet holder for Tottenham Hotspur. So it's been a long run, but he is finally going back to going over to America, probably to finish off his career. He did have a farewell ceremony at the halftime point of today's game, and I have a feeling we'll see him back as a coach soon.
Yeah, that is very likely because he was captain of us. He was captain of France. So, being a manager, that could be very likely for him.
Yeah. But that's it for our reactions to the last Spurs game of the year, as Tottenham beat 3-1, scored 3 goals to Bournemouth's 1. They beat them 3-1 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to give us an excellent ring into the new year. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on the game. And from us, Happy New Year, and of course,
come on, you Spurs!